of you in a heartfelt namaste. I, Anuradha, would like to thank all of you for watching our YouTube and listening to our Spotify channels and writing in your comments and suggestions there. Today, we welcome back Chandrasekhar Sharma ji with us. Sir, a warm welcome and pranam to you.
My pleasure.
So you generally call a little difficult or shloks that give information in a roundabout manner Anakalaniya shloks. So why are they called Anakalaniya shloks?
See, as you know, Anakalaniya is nothing but Ana plus Akalaniya. Akalan means to understand, easy to understand. These are a bit difficult to understand because we have got in Vedic astrology, in any form of astrology, we have got certain ideas that XYZ is related with ABC and then something will happen and we understand the reason behind it. Now, usually the shlokas are always connected with a lot of some bhava placed in some place, doing something, giving some results, X, Y, Z, whatever. And then connected with, when they talk about dashas, then invariably the house ownership becomes very material, isn't it? Then if two planets come together, one will give better results, another will not give better results in its dasha, is also understandable. But here is a shloka where no such condition is given except their placement.
Right.
Nothing is talked about like whether they are owner of that bhava, they are not owner of that bhava, owner of negative bhava, whatever, anything. They don't even have apparently any connection between them. And still something is being talked about.
Right.
What is being said is Dashamastaha, stha means to be placed in Bhrugo ho pake, na yogam labhate na. That means if Bhrugo is name of
Venus.
Venus, he is said to be son of Bhrugu Rishi, and so he is called Bhargava, he is called Bhrugu, etc. Bhrugu also is one of his names. Paka is what we call Dasha, the period of influence of a planet, as I like to put it. He said if Venus is placed in the 10th house, the Jataka is not going to get any auspicious result. Whenever yoga is talked about, it is generally in the sense of auspicious result. There can be Dur Yoga, the bad yoga, but when, without any prefix, we use the word yoga, it is always something auspicious. So what is being said is, if Venus is in the 10th house, during its dasha, the Jataka will not get very auspicious results. It doesn't mean inauspicious, but not very auspicious is what is being talked about. Why they are talking about it is the another reason, Saptamastaha Shane Pake. If Saturn is placed in the 7th bhava, then in his own dasha, he can give Raja Yoga, a very good yoga, which means auspicious results. Now, the question is why? Why Venus and Saturn we can in a way understand, because they are bosom friends of each other. When Lagna or ascendant is of Saturn, then invariably Venus is the Yogakaraka and vice versa. Another theory that we can understand is, okay, they are placed in square from each other, which is called the Paraspar Karaka, mutual helpers or
Yes, sir.
mutually advancing others, whatever he wants to do.
Qualities, yes, sir.
Qualities and ability to give results, etc. But now Saturn is able to deliver good results, so why not Venus? By that theory, if we take the theory of Paraspar Karaka, if we take the theory of two planets being related to each other or their relations with each other, they are naturally friends. They are not only naturally, they are bosom friends by virtue of becoming Yogakaraka for each other's life.
Mm.
Now, here a new concept is introduced by Ramanuja. What he is hinting it as, when we look at the strength of a planet,
Digbal.
we should look at the directional strength.
Hmm. Yeah.
And if we want to go one step ahead, we can even say that if it is in the natural zodiac, the 7th bhava is Libra, which is sign of exaltation for Saturn. So Saturn is relatively more powerful than Venus, who not only loses the Digbala directional strength, he is only placed in his house of his frame, but not in exaltation. So he has no other strength except a minor strength of being,
in a friend's house.
But without directional strength. So the importance of directional strength is being given here indirectly. So that is why I say it is not easy to understand the first class. Over time, of course, one we take into consideration whether where is he placed. So Digbala is there or not. There are 6 type of bala strengths.
Yes, sir.
We generally look at the Shadavarga bala, as I call it, instead of mere Shadabala. And in that, we see the whether he's placed in friend's house, whatever, X place, Y place, in all the 6 divisional charts, and then find out the strength of the planet. But here he's going one step ahead. We don't only look at that. Of course, in Varga chart, if a planet is in either Kendra or Trikona, that is either in square or trine, he also gets Sthanabala. So Sthanabala is there, but directional strength is not here. And that is why he says he will not give yoga. It doesn't mean he will give bad results. He says he will not give very auspicious.
I mean, Digbala is 0. So here the what?
Zero, because his maximum strength is in 4th house and minimum in the 10th. Zero in the 10th house, and everything is in between, like.
Right.
So, and Saturn gets strength in
7th house.
7th house. Not only that, he also gets strength in west direction, which is again the 7th house.
10th house.
So he has more places where strength is there, and so he's pretty strong. And so he can give the Raja Yoga, a very good yoga. And not only auspicious, a very auspicious yoga is what is being told here. We can also understand that at this point of time, when this happens, Saturn always aspects the 9th house. And it is said that aspect of Saturn from the ascendant to the 3rd house, the 3rd house aspect of Saturn, and from 7th to the 9th is supposed to be a very good aspect, capable of giving good results. So they have combined all those 3 things together to give the final results to us. And that is why I say it is Anakalaniya, because at first glance it appears to be, I don't know why, because Saturn aspecting in 4th house can be some harm to the Sukha, as they call it, the happiness and everything. But we must remember Saturn in strength gives minimum problem. He is the only malefic who, when strong, does not give.
That's a very beautiful
result,
point.
Negative result, all other will. So it is said, Shubha Mahashubha, the benefic planets will become very benefic. Krura Mahakrura, the malefics become very malefic. Vipratam Shani Srutam. Shani is reverse of that. Saturn's results are so if he is very powerful, he gives the least trouble. When he is weak, then he is capable of harming a child, is what is told in the great Saravali, Kalyan Varma's text. At other places, other savants also have talked about the same thing. So here 2 or 3 things are there, and because they are complex, at first glance it becomes really difficult to understand.
So it's not just
I call them Anakalaniya, not
yes.
Difficult to comprehend. Akalan is comprehensive, and Ana is not possible to do that sort of.
So in case of Saturn, we've learned so many things. We've learned that first Digbali Saturn, then an exalted Saturn, Saturn in the west direction, and Saturn, when it is the most beautiful thing that we've learned today for all of us to take note is that when Saturn is very strong, instead of giving the bad results that it is capable of giving, it turns into one of the friends for the person and gives really good results for the person.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us such a beautiful synopsis of Saturn. It's something very beautiful to go back with. Thank you so much.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.